Hey everyone, I am Holly, and I'm sharing a part of my journey to bring courage and inspire you on yours. I recently watched a video where it spoke about basically not focusing in the present and how this will benefit you more than focusing in the present. Now, I know it's a difficult topic to speak on, so I get where they were coming from, and I also get the backlash that they'd also receive. We speak so much about like the power of now, Eckhart Tolle and these other philosophers who speak about being present in the moment. And there's a blend needed. There's a blend needed of being present, feeling around you, being fully here in the now. Not just present in what's happening around you, but being here, feeling grounded. And then there's also the focus on the future, knowing that we're only here for a time and we've only got so much time. Death is really the only thing we know for sure. Birth and death. And so knowing that there is a time you will die, which could be tomorrow, being in the present moment can take you out of the awareness that we're only here temporarily. Building a solid foundation so that you don't have to take so much downtime. You're no longer worried or in fear of what will come, because you've got that solid foundation under you. Sorry, I just ate some chili peanuts. I keep licking my teeth. And once you have that solid foundation, and who actually takes the time to build that solid foundation? Most people are so rushy for their 9-to-5 job, and then having to rush home to get the kids, and then having to rush them to the hockey game, and then rush them home to get ready for bed, and do the whole thing all over again the next day. They don't have that present moment. And some people believe they've got the solid foundation because they've got the marriage and the family and the kids and the house. And for some, that is a solid foundation. Although they're suffering inside. They're not fulfilled. How can you be prepared? Like I've spoke on before about the squirrel. The squirrel doesn't worry about if the branch it's going to jump to breaks. He's not worried about, oh my God, I don't want to jump because like what if that branch breaks, or what if that wire zaps me? That's not even a thought, because that squirrel has a solid foundation. It knows its limits. It knows that it can trust its legs. It can trust its tail for balance. That when that branch breaks, it will catch itself. So then there's no worry on what's coming. There's no fear, because it has its solid foundation. It trusts in itself. It trusts in its instincts. And when people don't take the time out to build that solid foundation, here's what'll happen. That's when they let fear in. That's when they let worry and doubt in. And they look for those around them that they can blame. They blame their parents for where they're at. They blame their ex for where they're at. Rather than embracing that now, when you're in your... Some people really won't allow themselves to go into an isolation period. And this is where they're suffering. They keep up with the distractions. They can't be single. They're afraid to be alone. They never allow themselves to build that solid foundation, which then they can build a solid, safe, not even safe. Safe is such a misused term also. Everyone wants to be safe. Everyone wants to feel safe. I've been a risk taker my whole life. The first property I bought, I didn't even know how I was going to fund it. I had just gotten into real estate. I had just had a child. I was a single mother. I knew I had houses closing. And I had no idea. I didn't even tell anybody that I was doing it. I knew what would happen. And this is where the power of not letting your left hand know what your right is about to do. Not telling your family and friends everything that you're doing. That's when they attack you. And I learned that at a young age. And this is where a lot of people are surprised right now at who I am. At who I've become. Because I've always been 1144. I've always been me. I've always had these values. I just didn't have the voice. Because I knew what those around me could and could not handle and what they were willing to do against me. So 2020 brought vision for all, and you got to choose. Through 2020 vision, you got to choose. Were you going to see behind the veil? Were you going to continue with the distractions? Were you going to choose to learn truth and facts? Or were you going to sit in the lies that you've been conditioned with your whole life? Will you choose growth, or will you choose to descend? Growth brings ascension. It brings enlightenment. Choosing your false reality that you've created and that you've created for those around you as well, then you descend. I'm not going to say that these 3 years have been phenomenal. They haven't been a cakewalk. I went through a huge dark night of the soul, and I had no one there for me. And I was a single mother doing it. And I chose that for myself. There's so many people in the spiritual world right now. There's so many people on the screen right now that you're watching who claim to be spiritual, who claim to be love and light, who claim to be teachers, spiritual teachers, ascended masters, and they have not felt the pain. They have not even gotten to know their shadow side, their shadow self. They speak of rainbows and butterflies and transformation and oneness. Yeah, we're connected. We all have different purposes though. We are all different. We are all unique. We are all here for a reason. And this idea that's brought into the spiritual community right now is clouding the vision and judgment of so many. And there's so many people who are questioning question so much because they aren't willing to do the work themselves. They want the easy fix. They want the quick fix. How do I get to enlightenment right now? It doesn't work like that. I've been working at it my entire life, and I've been silent about it. 10 years ago, I found out just how silent I really needed to be. I really started to see my value. I really started to see how others valued me. And I'm not talking about people in North America. I'm talking about people in other countries. The ones who are brought up with love, Ubuntu. I am because we are. It takes a community. And North America is so ass backwards. They've fallen for the great American experiment. I am because we are. So I saw my value through others and how they treated me. And these people from these other countries were nothing but love. They accepted me as I was. They accepted those around them as they were. They didn't try to change and manipulate anybody. And when I started to voice my growth to my sister, to my family, to my friends, I saw the enemies come out. I saw how they tried to dim my light again, how they tried to put me back into my neat little box, just like Barbie, put her back into her little box so that nobody can hear her, nobody can see her, other than what we want them to see. We'll dress her up how we want her to dress. We'll create the story that we want to create. And so when I started to see this 10 years ago, I trusted in my connection to whatever was up there, whatever was in here. I trusted that I was the only one that I could truly trust. Well, I went through this period of isolation these past 3 years that I chose to go through, that I chose to surrender to. I surrendered 1313 to the guidance of my spirit guides and what I was connected with that was guiding me to my higher purpose, and I let go. And it was the most painful thing that I've ever been through. And I did it alone. I had so many people attacking me for my choices. I had so many people who they refused to accept me for who I am. I don't need their acceptance. I don't need their validation. I need my validation. I need my Creator's validation. I sacrificed my toxic patterning. I sacrificed friendships and relationships because I knew God had a higher purpose for my life. And I knew that I was being attacked because of that. And I chose to move quietly. And when I sold my house, I was 2 months behind in mortgage payments because of all of those people who had chosen to attack me. All those people who chose I did it all alone. And with my spiritual team behind me and surrounding me, I had no help other than that. No help in the physical. And that's okay. You can't get this strong without going through hell. You can't get this strong without feeling the pain. There is no easy fix. There's no quick fix. It takes a lifetime of surrendering to the process and letting go of your own desires of the flesh. It's not about what I think I need. I'm a co-creator. I'm a co-creator. It's not only what I feel. When I surrender and I allow the flow to be in the flow state in alignment with divine source energy, it aligns for me in such a beautiful way that it all just comes together. You have to give thanks for all the lessons. It's the only way that we get through. What are you willing to sacrifice? I've literally cut out my family, my friends, ex-partnerships, and as soon as I started to do that, I started to see how many lies had been told on me and to me. How could I trust anyone from my past? Nobody was there for me. Nobody was there with me. Nobody was a shoulder for me to cry on. I cried on my own shoulder. I cried on my own pillow. I cried on my own knees. Dropped to my knees so many times, giving thanks. Being grateful. I didn't show hate. I accepted those at the level that they were at. I accepted that they were never able to come with me. I accepted that they were not strong enough to be accountable, to hold themselves accountable. They're not all cut out for this. I chose to do it the hard way. I chose to take the stairs rather than the elevator. I tried to bring along everybody with me. I really did. Even those who didn't deserve it. Even those who had hurt me so much. I forgave them and still tried to bring them on with me. We all have choices. We all have free choice. Whether you choose to harm another or whether you choose to accept everyone as they are. Everyone where they're at. I forgive. That doesn't mean that you get to come with me. This is my journey. I was the one I put the work in. I did what I needed to do. My true fulfillment is not in how many people are with me. It's the quality of people who are with me. When people show through their actions. And so many people have accepted less. They've settled for less. Everyone is capable of being this strong. Just maybe not this lifetime. And that's okay. That's your journey, not mine. I'm not waiting. I've never waited in my life. I've waited a few times for phone calls from guys. And when they continued to show me that they are just bullshitters and they've got words and no action, I've cut them off. I don't settle for anything but the best. And I see right through people. I see what they're truly capable of, and I give them the benefit of the doubt. Their potential doesn't always have anything to do with where they're at. It's just God putting a blessing in front of them, giving them the option of having help and guidance in the physical. And the majority of them choose to slap God in the face and to believe that they know what's best for them, rather than surrendering and praying and asking, what do you need from me? What do I do next? Where am I going now? Should this person come with me or not? Can this person come with me or not? Time's up. "2023 is almost over. And there's a lot of people who's still chosen the darkness, and God's about to wipe them out. There's about to be some pretty painful sights seen. And a lot of people have sacrificed themselves. They've sacrificed themselves for others to learn. They've sacrificed their own lives. So it could give you an opportunity to see the facts, the truth. And so many people have chosen to remain blind. So God's about to flip your world upside down. You've been warned too many times and you've ignored all the warnings. You can't get this strong by not doing the work. You need to be in a period of isolation. You need to stop getting out of one relationship and into the next. You need to build your solid foundation. You need to find your true values. What do you value? What are you willing to accept? Have your healthy boundaries. By you finding your values and having your healthy boundaries, that starts your solid foundation. And then you learn how to love yourself. You can't get anywhere. You will get nowhere without love for yourself and acceptance as you are. Stop being your own worst enemy. Accept that rejection is God's protection. And when something doesn't work out, you need to heed the voice. That first initial intuitive voice. That's your connection to source. That's your answer. Stop trying to alter that. Stop trying to analyze it. Accept it. It may not be what you want to hear. Although when you start to heed that voice, you will be extremely grateful that you did. You will see why you had to leave that person. You will see why you had to leave that job. You will see why you had to leave that toxic, it could be alcohol, drugs. It could be a habit. It could be watching sports. All these distractions which take away from yourself, your journey. I'm extremely grateful for all of those who have chosen the path that I have. 2442. We mirror each other. We help each other. When one of us chooses to rise up, it helps the rest. We all rise together. we mirror each other's energy. And when we can choose our greatest potential, holds space for everybody else. So I choose to constantly align with my highest and greatest potential and my highest and greatest timeline. And I release all of those who previously I believed should come with me. I release you from your burden of obsessive compulsive behavior when it comes to me. I release you from any guilt you may feel. I forgive you for all the wrongs you've done against me, any negative thought you've thought for me, for my family. I release you from that pain, and I wish for you to move forward to your highest and greatest timeline. I wish that you will release me and release your obsession with me so that you may now love yourself. Always with the ear kisses. I wish nothing but the best for each and every one of you. Blessings to you all.